you.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I just want to tell everyone thank you so much for continue to following our journey, and for all the beautiful messages that we get. We have so much love and support from all of you guys, and I just want to say thank you. In this video, I kind of want to switch to the roles. I realize, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have noticed, that we don't ever really get to see the man's perspective or get to hear the man's perspective. Men are not as vulnerable as women. They try to remain strong for us. And I really don't always like that. I really like to hear from a man's perspective of how they feel. And the reason being is because Javon has always remained so strong for the both of us. I am not always the strongest person, as I try to be, but with him, because of him, I've been able to move on and move forward and pick myself up, because he's always been the rock and the foundation in our family. But I really want to hear from his side and from his point of view. He never really tells me, but I'm hoping that he'll tell you guys. And I'm asking him to do this video so that way men can feel more comfortable, hopefully feel more comfortable speaking up. And from a woman's perspective, it would have been nice to know along the way what I'm doing wrong as a wife. Not necessarily doing wrong, but how I could help as well. It's not fair for him to always pick up the slack in our relationship. That's how I kind of feel. So it would have been nice to have known what I could have done for him, because just as I'm suffering, I know he is suffering as well. So it'd be nice to know what I could do for him and how I could help him just as much as he's helped me. I remember when our second IVF process, we were transferring frozen embryos. And when we were in Virginia, we were on our way to North Carolina for the procedure to transfer those embryos. And before we even leave Virginia, we got a phone call from the doctor saying that our embryos didn't survive the thawing process. Of course I cried, and it was an emotional moment for me, but I looked over at my husband and I realized I had to pick myself up. I had to pick myself up because I knew he wasn't going to tell me what he was going through and how he felt in that moment. And I remember texting his mom, because we were still in Virginia, and telling her, your son needs you right now. Like I said, I knew he wasn't going to open up to me because this man is trying to be strong for the both of us. So luckily we were still in Virginia, and I'm so glad that woman was available to be there for her son and to do something that I just couldn't do at that moment, and just emotionally be there for my husband. So I'm really, really grateful for her because of that. And after that, you know, like I said, Javon really doesn't express his feelings. He kind of keeps it all bottled up inside because he's just a very optimistic guy, and he's also the kind of person that can move forward. So like I said, I asked him to do this video for you guys and then for me, because if I would have known a lot sooner that the reason why he kept his silence for so long was because I was silent, maybe I would have opened up a lot sooner to allow him to open up as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let us know what you think.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? My name is Javon. I'm the husband of Susie Lee. So I'm basically just going to give y'all an insight of my perspective on this whole journey. If you've seen the other videos, you can see that my personality, I'm not big on just expressing my emotions, at least openly to everybody. Like, even like Susie could tell you, I don't even express my emotions all the time to hers, because I always know that I have to be the one to keep us up, because I know, like, if she's getting sad, if she's crying, I feel like we both can't be doing that at the same time. Like, one of us has to make the other feel better. That's just how I always felt like that. And that's just part of my personality. I know if I need to talk to somebody, that I can talk to my wife, I can talk to my mom, my dad, my family, friends. I know I'll always have people to talk to. So I am one of those people that bottle stuff up, but I'm not one of those people that bottle up and gonna explode. Like, I know if I need to talk, I'm gonna talk. But yeah, like I said, I am a person that can bottle up and I can deal with whatever it is. That it for plenty of things. So that's probably why the biggest reason Susie is mad. She feel like I don't tell her anything. It's just, I feel like if I just push it down, especially the way, if you know me, I got bad memory. I feel like if I push it down enough, I can like try to forget, so it doesn't hurt or I don't feel sad or whatever, and then eventually I'll forget. There's some things that I'll remember from the past or whatever, and I get mad about, and then I just try to do something else so I can just forget. So because I'm not the type of person that likes to be sad or mad or anything. I like to be happy. I like to laugh, stuff like that. But in regards to us losing all the babies from the miscarriages, the ectopic pregnancies, it was really bad. I think the biggest one for me was the second ectopic pregnancy. But I mean, of course, I was always sad about losing any babies we could have had, period. But I think that second one hit me the most is because, if you don't know what ectopic pregnancy is, it's when the embryo goes through the tube supposed to go to the uterus so you can end up becoming like fully pregnant type thing. I don't know how you say that, but the ectopic is when the embryo gets stuck in the tube. So that was the second time that happened to Susie. And so, like I was saying, I think the second time hit me the most is because she was having pains and stuff before that, and so she was having pain so bad that we took her to the ER. So if we didn't, if her fallopian tube would have burst because of the embryo, then she could have died. So I think, in my opinion, I think that's why that one hit me the most. It's just because I knew how bad I'd have been if I'd have lost her. I think that's the biggest thing. Of course, I'm always gonna be sad about us losing babies, but I've always told the biggest things for me, as long as I have you, then I'll be fine. If for some reason God doesn't want us to have kids this way, like the traditional way, then we can adopt, we can do things like that. But my biggest thing is never losing her. So that's how I've always been. And what she was saying, she was talking about she wanted me to talk about my optimism. I'm always optimistic. I always feel like things are always gonna work out for the better, because I mean, at least in my opinion, for everything always has. Even if it doesn't work out exactly how I think it's gonna work, it's never as bad. Susie, like any situation, Susie will think the worst, like the worst possible outcome, and it never happens. And so I always told her, I was like, man, as long as you stay with me, then I mean, God gonna take care of you. We're gonna be good. Like, but I was like, if you decide to leave, I mean, we can do for you. But that's just how it's gonna be. But I just be joking. But I mean, that's I don't know. But what I would do to keep my wife uplifted during these times, I would tell her like it's gonna be okay. Like, we're still gonna make it. We still have each other. I don't think I ever said it wasn't our time. I'm not sure if I ever said that, but I just always try to keep positive. I always try to keep her mind on other things. Try to make her laugh. Just try to do things to keep her mind off the bad times that we had of losing babies and stuff like that. I don't want to say I think the only time my faith was really affected, like really bad, was, like I said, that second ectopic pregnancy, because I just didn't want to lose Susie at all. Like, that was a scary moment. I remember when she was getting her surgery, but when they was taking her in their surgery, I had to call my mom, and I was just crying because I was like, there's nothing I can do, and I just felt bad knowing that I can't help her, and just hoping everything was gonna be all right. But what made us keep trying to have kids? I think the biggest thing for me, especially for like Susie and like a lot of women, they don't feel like they're fully a woman if they can't produce, which is, I guess that's just on how they think. You can, like I said, you can be a mom from adopting someone. You can be like I said, we've been parents to dogs for years. We have Dino for almost 9 years now. Yeah, almost 9 years. So we've had him forever. So I don't think people. Matter of fact, I don't even think people realize. So every time we had a miscarriage is when we got a puppy. So Dino was the first. So in our eyes, we get a puppy to see like how old. So Dino would have been our oldest technically if we had a kid. So like I said, Dino's almost 9. We got him after the first miscarriage, after the wedding. The second dog we had was after the other one. Her name was Nala. We had her. She passed away, got hit by a car. It was sad. Third miscarriage, we got Danger, which is Dino's son. We got him. And then he passed away too. Sounds crazy, right? And then the last miscarriage was Draco, and we still have Draco. Draco's like two years old, a little bit over 2 years old. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if people realize that, but almost after every miscarriage, after every miscarriage, we got a puppy. So because if you know Susie, you know she loves dogs. So it just made her feel better, and it made her feel like since she didn't have a kid, at least she had like our baby was born through the puppy, I guess, something similar like that. But yeah, I never resented Susie for having a miscarriage or anything like that. I know it was something that it was not something she could control. I never felt like she was the problem. I don't know. I just never felt like that. Even though in the back of her head, or sometimes she would always say, like, you're not the problem, like your sperm count is good, all that stuff. It's just me, the reason why we can't have baby. And so I think that just affected her, like knowing that she couldn't give me a biological kid from us. So that, I think that's what affected her the most. But yeah. And then let me see. She wanted to see what advice can you give to men who are going through the same situation. So yeah, I had one of my friends from Korea. He hit me up, basically going through the same situation. So that's why I'm glad we documented this whole journey, because you see it more in females, but you really don't hear from males. Like I know males that like even one of my great friends can't have kids, and it's just crazy, because I mean some people would never even know. They just, like I said, people just gonna assume whatever they want to assume. But for the guys that are also having issues, or just couples in general, just have faith. Just love yourselves. Do what you can. Like I said, even if you can't have kids naturally, there's always ways you can have kids, make a family. There's always ways. So I mean, I would just say never give up. I'm always here if anybody needs to talk to me, get advice on what we did, how do we go through things, and just stuff like that. Then one of the biggest things is, so for this whole journey, like I said, I'm not just an open person, but I've noticed, especially recently when I tell people we did IVF, people, when I just naturally bring it out, because I kind of can get the hint of when people are having issues having kids. So when I say we did, when somebody said, yeah, like when I ask them, like, if they've been with somebody for a while, and I'm like, oh, you guys gonna have kids? And like, oh yeah, we're gonna try or whatever. Or they'll just give some kind of hint where I can kind of tell. And then that's when I'll say, oh yeah, me and my wife just did IVF. This is the second time we tried it, but this one actually worked. And then that's when they'll tell me, like, oh, we're having issues too. And they'll ask me, like, how do we do the IVF? How does it work? Stuff like that. So I've noticed I feel like that's been a big help to a lot of people, because people don't realize. I think in our generation it's probably bigger. I mean, I don't know the statistics, but I think in our generation it's bigger. People having fertility issues and things of that nature. So I just feel good about being able to help people. That's why I'm glad that Susie made this journey. Even though she didn't want to put it out, I just pushed her to put it out because I know it would help a lot of people. But yeah, and then the biggest thing about this journey is, for the longest time, Susie didn't want to tell people that we had miscarriages or that we was doing IVF or stuff like that. Because I remember the first time we did IVF, we told my mom we was going to North Carolina to do training or whatever. Because it wasn't the first time. The second time we was going, we was going to do training. And then she would ask me questions, and I didn't think of a lie automatically, so I would just make up something, whatever. But that's because I knew she didn't want people to know what we were doing, just in case it didn't work. But she's realizing now, since she didn't want people to know and that she didn't talk about it, that obviously I didn't talk about it, because I was like, I can't. I feel like I can't talk about it, and then people ask you, and they're like, oh, why are you telling people? Because then she's gonna feel depressed or sad on it. So, but I know she told me, she was like, if she would have knew before that I would express myself and actually put my emotions out there sooner about the whole IVF, then she probably would have spoke about it sooner. So I guess she just wasn't sure automatically all the way about how I felt about it. So that was the biggest thing. And then how do I feel about having a boy? So I was telling Susie, I think the biggest thing for me, so if you saw the gender reveal video and all that, you saw that I wanted a girl. I think the biggest reason for that, and I told Susie, I think it was a subconscious thing and I didn't even realize it. So obviously I'm black, Susie's Mexican. And more than likely our son is gonna look more black than anything. So I think the reason I wanted a girl is because I know the chances of our daughter having to deal with the stuff in the world now, especially like police brutality or just hate in general, wouldn't be as bad for a girl as a boy. I'm scared to have a boy because of the fact that I've been pulled over plenty of times just for nothing. I remember when I had my Nissan Altima, it was on 22-inch rim, stuff like that. And they pulled me over just because of how the car looked. Like, it was a car show car, of course it's going to look nice. I had Lamborghini doors, all that other stuff. But I've been stereotyped, or what is it called? I can't remember the word. I know what it is. Anyways, but I've been pulled over just because how my car looked, or because they'll see me driving a black male driving the car, and I'm driving a nice car, so I just get pulled over for stuff like that. And I don't want those kind of situations to happen to my son, because even though he'll have my DNA and Susie's, I don't know how they'll actually handle that situation. Of course, we're going to teach them everything they need to know to be safe, to make sure they come home and stuff like that. But you can never be too sure about that. So I think that's the reason I didn't want a boy, because it makes the most sense to me. Yeah, I think that's why that was. Let me see. And then, okay, so now I think I wrapped up everything, but now at the end of this video, I'm gonna just let y'all know what we decided for our son's name. So most people, they know I love basketball, love cars, stuff like that. But when people on Facebook, they was asking what we're gonna name our son, they was like, oh, you gonna name him LeBron, they're gonna name him Kobe, stuff like that. And I was like, nah. So the way I think about it, I don't even want to name my son a junior. It's because I feel like I want my kid to have his own identity, his own name. You don't have to, like, you already gonna know that's my son, in my opinion. Obviously gonna have the same last name, be with him all the time, type thing. So in my opinion, you already gonna know that's my son. And then I just want something unique. I think I started thinking like that too, especially after like Kanye, Jay-Z, and they had these unique names for their kids. I was like, I don't want something, it just sounds ridiculous, but I want something unique that when you hear his name, like, you know that's him. Like, there ain't too many people with that name or something like that. So the first name for our son, oh my bad. So if you did, like I said, if you know that I love basketball, then you also know I love cars. So if you would have thought, maybe I'm gonna name him son something similar to a car. So our son's first name is gonna be Enzo. So if you're not familiar with cars, there's a car called Enzo Ferrari. If you know me, maybe since elementary school, my favorite car has always been Ferrari. Not too long ago, I seen the Ford versus Ferrari movie, and that's when I realized that the name Enzo Ferrari wasn't just a car. That was the actual owner of the company Ferrari. His name was Enzo Ferrari, and I was like, that's a dope name. I just liked it because I've always liked the car too, Enzo. So that's where we got that from. His first name is going to be Enzo, and then his middle name was really big. So when we was deciding that part, we was looking on baby name apps, and then I ended up I didn't see a middle name that really stuck out to me, but I already had an idea of what I wanted to do. But like I said, I still hold back my emotions and stuff like that. I mean, I just can't help it. So the middle name that I put in there, it wasn't in there, so I ended up typing it, and I showed Susie, and she was like, and I was like, oh, this is the name I think I want to do, and she was like, she looked at it and it said Purcell, and then she started crying, and she was like, oh, you want the name of Purcell? So if you don't know, my grandpa name is Purcell Johns. And my grandpa was big in my life, especially when I was younger. He used to always take me. Like I said, I didn't grow up with my dad, so my grandpa lived in Roanoke, Virginia. I lived in Hopewell. It was like 2-3 hours away. So he would come pick me up, take me to basketball camps, take me to NBA games, and especially at that time, NBA games was lit. Like this is when because my cousin played for the 76ers, named George Lynch. That's when they was in like their playoff series. That's around the same time Allen Iverson won MVP. So I met Allen Iverson, met Mutombo, met what's his name? All those players during that time. Geiger, all those players, Eric Snow, all those. So it was just good, especially how much I love basketball. So he always took me to basketball camps. He always take me on trips. He knew how picky I was, so if we would go to like a family member's house to eat and it was something I didn't like, then he would just take me to pizza at McDonald's. So I mean, you could say he probably indulged me in making me how picky I am, because he just helped me. He was the first person to let me drive. Yeah, it was in a stadium parking lot with empty cars, but I think I was like maybe 9, 10 driving the parking lot, so that was good. But yeah, he just played a big part of my life. When I was 19, 20, stationed at Fort Bliss, my dad had called me and told me that he passed away. And that really hit me like really hard. We was at a car show at the time, me and Susie, and I was just crying really bad. I just felt bad because I don't think I had talked to him in a little bit, and I knew I hadn't seen him because I had just joined the Army, been in the Army for like maybe 2 years already. So I knew for sure I haven't seen him in like 2 years. And I just felt really sad about that. And then at that time, the unit I was in, we were going to field problems or whatever, so they wouldn't let me go to the funeral. Even my dad was in. He was a first sergeant at the time. He called. My stepdad was a master sergeant. He called. Everybody tried to help me, but it just didn't work out. So that always affected me. So when I knew when I had a son that I wanted to remember my grandfather by naming him Purcell. I didn't think I wanted that as his first name, but I did want his middle name. So yeah, that's the middle name. And so his names will be Enzo Purcell Joyner. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. But appreciate y'all for getting my perspective, tuning in. If y'all got questions, just let me know. That's all I got. Yikes.
First time I seen ya, I was thinking, man, she bad. In a good way, like the hood say. Spanish mamacita with a nice smile. Your looks knocking haters dead. Lights out, but that's just first impression.